Michelle McNutt. I'm our People and Culture Director here at Live in Wello. I find my morning as like the foundation for my day. And so put a good effort into getting some quiet time. I get up relatively early, just to get a little bit of time, hopefully before some other folks are awake, before the Slack and the emails and calls start. And then just making sure that I set myself up for a good day. So anything that's really important to me, I try to get in the mornings, whether that's reading, working with our coach, so trying to do some journaling. Not gonna lie, sometimes my journaling starts as journaling and ends as a bit of a to-do list, but it's a work in progress. But I would say the start of my day is really, really important and putting a lot of emphasis there. I'm naturally a fairly happy and motivated person, but we're surrounded by them. You know, I think when I look around at our staff, I can probably pick any one of them and get fueled by that. So I look at it of just, you know, we've got some folks, our CEO being one of them for anyone who's met him, of just connecting and kind of feeding off that. And so if you're kind of feeling yourself go a little bit below the line, you know, reaching out to someone who can very easily bring you back up. And so we're lucky here at Live in Wello. We've got lots of them. And so being able to kind of connect with someone, chat about whether it's work related or not, and then go back to tackling the day. I know that I'm stressed, but typically by my communication style. And so tend to be a little bit more directive in stress because I'm looking to I'm fairly action oriented and trying to get things done. So being mindful that that's not everyone else's preferred communication style to receive. So just taking a step back. So feel, you know, a problem, you know, maybe we're not talking with each other, but we're talking at each other. Let's take a step back. Do a bit of a pause. You know, if there's something that I need to focus on and I'm finding, you know, there's distractions coming in from all angles, snooze notifications. You know, block some time where I know I just need to tackle something and get it done. So snoozing Slack for, you know, half hour, an hour, snoozing email, just so I can have some dedicated time to tackle the problem at hand. I live very close to our office, so I get to walk to work, which is not the most common for a lot of folks, and so that's a really good decompress for me, whether it's on my way to work or leaving. So I've got about a 20-minute walk. So at minimum, I can get 40 minutes of activity without really trying, which is a good thing. And then on days that I just find I don't have time, I'm sure some of my team members will be laughing hearing this. But I've incorporated some exercise into daily tasks. So like while I'm brushing my teeth or blow drying my hair, I'm doing squats. And I think you can be surprised at how many squats you can get in for a proper teeth brushing. And so on days that I don't have time to do anything more than that, then maybe the day just doesn't allow for it. I know that I've gotten a few things in, so I don't feel guilty about, you know, that being the only piece of my day that's been a little bit more active. I'm trying to snooze notifications at certain times, you know, make plans, whether it's with friends, family, and plans being mostly Zoom calls or, you know, socially distanced walking dates. But just trying to make plans to actually create that separation, because it's just as easy if you're kind of puttering away at your kitchen table to just keep going. You know, what's the difference between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. and 8 p.m.? And so just trying to find those plans, that notification, whether it's putting things in your calendar, blocking off some time. I'm a huge fan of time blocking. Just so there's a notification, just a little bit of a reminder to say, hey, you should stop right now. Go do a stretch break, go for a walk, go do something. So I found that really helpful for me, but again, still working on it. You know, in terms of staff, it's communication. Probably to the point of over communication. So, you know, whether it's check-ins, whether it's team huddles, keeping that rhythm and routine of things that you've already had and then just expanding upon them. You know, if you don't normally do town halls and webinars and all these things, your staff's not expecting that. So you don't have to go and reinvent the wheel right now. It's just take the things that they're used to and make sure you're still doing them. Giving them a platform for, you know, waving a white flag when things aren't going so well. And check in. So being mindful that not everyone's going to reach out when they're stressed. And so check in on those folks. And so, planning regular check-ins so that way, and it gives them an outlet. So where they can connect and just say, you want to know what? I'm stressed right now. Things are not going so well. Or you want to know what? It's really hard to be home with my kids. I love them, but you know what? It's hard when they're here all the time. And so trying to just listen, and then appreciation goes a long way. I think for us, being mindful that it is stressful, and there's the messaging that we're all in this together, and we are, but we're in it differently. And so it's very different for someone to be home who lives alone versus somebody who is maybe a frontline worker, different than someone who's home with spouse and kids. I think all of those things, add to it. So just being mindful that it might not be a one size fits all solution. And so just listening to what the team needs. And if they're not saying anything, make sure you're finding ways to ask the questions. Biggest thing right now is an understanding that the world is changing. And so how can you as an individual, how can you as an employee or an employer be part of that change? And so, I'm so encouraged by the innovation that we've seen. So companies who, normally are making beverages are now making hand sanitizer. Full manufacturing plants have been retooled to make shields and different things, or meet a demand that they otherwise didn't have. So I think, get creative. Now's the time. And, maybe you have a little bit more time to kind of put some thought around to it, but what's the next iteration for, your role or your business, your industry, getting together with other industry leaders. So, reaching out to competitors and reaching out to other people in your space and like, what are they doing? Is there something that you guys can join forces on? I think there's an opportunity to get really creative right now and take advantage of it. We don't always get this opportunity presented to us. And so I think the biggest thing is look at it as an opportunity. Take the time, and if there's something that you want to mourn, missing something, or now we normally do this big thing with our staff and we can't do it, or now is someone's birthday or we have a celebration, we normally do those things. It's okay to acknowledge that those things aren't happening. But what can you do differently? How can you still have that meeting, but maybe it's a Zoom meeting? How can you still show appreciation by, sending a skip the dishes gift card or something to that in effect? So I think just getting really creative right now. And for me, I am very inspired by watching what's happening in different industries and how, they're rising to the occasion. And I think it's exciting. It's changing the way that we're going to do a lot of things as we come out of this.